こんにちは、皆さん。今日、私たちは日本語を勉強しています。質問が、あれば、私に聞いてください。Greetings, everyone. Today we're studying Japanese. If you have any questions, then feel free to ask me at any time. We're going to continue with immersion with Card Captor Sakura.
Silent? 音がないっていう意味ですわね。
その通りや。うるさいのが大嫌いなカードなんや。
だから美術館のような静かなところにいるらしいの。
大嫌いなカードなんや。
だから美術館のような静かなところにいるらしいの。静かなところにいる意味ですわね。
その通りや。うるさいのが大嫌いなカードなんや。
だから
だから、美術館のような静かなところにいるらしいの。So from that, a place like a museum let's see, play so a museum like place, a silent like place, it exists. I suspect so from that I suspect it would exist in a museum and silent like place, or maybe in a they're trying to say in a silent museum. That's why I guess uh she likes to be in a quiet places like art museums. Dakara, 美術館のような静かなところにいるらしいの. That's why I guess she likes to be in quiet places like art museums. See this we have this museum-like place descripted followed by na, then we have a quiet place followed by na, then tokoro, the actual word for place. And then rashi, it seems like. Wait, yo is a I think this is more literally saying a museum-like quiet place. Explain the grammar of all this.
音がないっていう意味ですわね。
その通りや。うるさいのが大嫌いなカードなんや。
だから美術館のような静かなところにいるらしいの。サイレントの力は何ですの？
サイレントの力は何です？
silent no chikara wa nan desu no. So, what is silence power?
の昼間通りや。うるさいのが大嫌いなカードなんや。
だから美術館のような静かなところにいるらしいの。
サイレントの力は何ですの？
昼間は音が消えただけだったよ。
サイレントの力は何ですの？
昼間は音が
昼間は音が
だから美術館のような静かなところにいるらしいの。
サイレントの力は何ですの？
昼間は音が消えただけだったよ。
サイレントの力は何ですの？
昼
Okay, in that earlier sentence, let's see. Like an art museum or an art-like museum, okay. Shizuka na tokoro, quiet place, ni. Further indicating location or existence, iru, okay. Rashi, conjecture, auxiliary verb, no. Why is Bijutsukan no Yona attached to Shizuka? Bijutsukan no Yona is attached to Shizuka at Natokoro, quiet place, to modify it as a single noun phrase meaning a quiet place like an art museum. Possessive yo, okay. Yona, this is an adjectival noun modifying form of yo, meaning like or similar to. The noun phrase being modified quiet place. Why no yona attaches to a noun? Okay. The entire phrase Bijutsuka no yona Shizuka na tokoro functions as a single unit meaning a quiet place like an art museum. It's not that no yona is directly attached to the adjective Shizuka na. Rather, it modifies the entire noun phrase that followed. So I guess you could think of it as something like a red-like ball, essentially, in the same way there's like a place like an art museum. What type of place? It's a place like an art museum. What type of ball? It's a red-like ball. Hiruma, so yeah, daytime, during the day, yeah. Oto ga kieta, kieru, to disappear, to vanish, to go out of sight, to go away, to become lost. to go out, to fade, to wear away, to be... Oh, I think this is the kanji I see with turning off like a TV. So maybe they mean to turn in a turn off kind of way. Let's see. See, there's kieru, sho, and kesu. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Transitive kesu. Yes, to cross out, to delete, to turn off a light TV. Yeah, so kieru is the intransitive form of it. So, oto ga kieta dake datta yo. So, during the day, or hiruma, sound was turned off or disappeared. But okay, so dake, so during the day, sound just turned off or disappeared. Just talking about the powers of the silence card. So, hiruma wa oto ga kieta dake datta yo.
だから美術館のような静かなところにいるらしいの。サイレントの力は何ですの？昼間は音が消えただけだったよ。
それだけやないで。やつが強いてやると音がな
らしいの。サイレントの力は何ですの？昼間は音が消えただけだったよ。
それだけやないで。
らしいの。サイレントの力は何ですの？昼間は音が消えただけだったよ。
それだけやないで。やつが
それだけやないで。So just that, it's to not be. So in other words, it's not just that. それだけやないで。やつがしょつをしょってやる。Let's see, so this guy, that guy or that person or this card essentially, Yatsu. Show and then to do. Oh, this is just supposed to be like a shush or hush. How would you pronounce that? How do you pronounce a small su at the end of a word? I think I heard someone say you just shorten the sound, but then why have... How do you... Actually, let's just listen to him say it.
音が消えただけだったよ。
それだけやないで。やつが強いてやると
の力は何ですの？昼間は音が消えただけだったよ。
それだけやないで。やつが強いてやると
It just sounds like he's just saying she.
昼間は音が消えただけだったよ。
それだけやな。
that's not at all when she goes. So the sute is either to say or to do. Explain the grammar of this. Onomatopoeia for the sound of telling someone to be quiet. Okay, sute, casual quotating particle con contract from to. It indicates a person meaning does this thing or says. Okay, I figured. Yaru to. Wait, there's to at the end of that? Oh, you're right. Yes. Okay. So I was probably going to continue on what happens when they say shh. So, yeah, it's basically to say, それだけやないで、やつがしてやると, or with saying shh. So that's not all. That's just that is not all. The card, when the card says, shh, or with the card saying shh, and then you're gonna see what it does after that.
なんですな。昼間は音が消えただけだったよ。
それだけやないで、やつが強いてやると音がなくなってしまうんと同時に。
昼間は音が消えただけだったよ。
それだけやないで、やつが強いてやると音がなくなってしまう。
音がなくなってしまう。しまんと、何時、しまんと何時に、音、let's see, is this one, how many words is this? Nakunate. Okay. That's right, nakunaru, to be lost, to be missing, to be used up, to be run out, to disappear, to be lost. Or if you break it into like components made out of, it literally looks like nai in the adverbial sense of the naru, which would be becoming not existent, aka being lost or disappeared. Makes me kind of wonder if this really is one word or two words. Is nakunari one word or two words? Is this not nai as naku followed by naru? Or is it one word? Okay, nakunaru is primarily analyzed as two distinct grammatical components. The adverbial form of negative nai conjugated to naku followed by the verb naru to become Okay, so despite the dictionary showing it as one word, it actually is two words, okay? The context explains that nai conjugates like an I adjective, allowing it to form the adverb naku when attached to naru. It creates a compound verb structure meaning to become, not state, or to stop being. Semantic distinction. While nakunaru exists as a standalone dictionary word to mean disappear, to be used up, easy money or time running out, its formal formation is etymologically linked to the negation plus becoming structure. In the context of verb negation, shinakunaru, to stop doing, it is explicitly treated as a negative verb stem plus naru. Usage and context. The search results highlights that the patterns nakunaru indicates a change of the state from doing something to stopping. Okay. So it basically is two words. Nai and the adverbial form of naku plus naru to become. So to become not existent, aka disappear. So oto ga nakunatte shimau. So sound ends up disappearing, but what's the shimaun to? And doji. So that's right, that's kanji for unaji. Yeah. So unaji. Unaji. Yes. Doji. So at the same time, okay. Just after, okay. At the same time, as well as also on the other hand, okay. So okay, when the card says shush, well, with the card saying shush, okay, sound ends up disappearing, and with that, at the same time, so oto ga nakunatte shimaun to doji ni.
が消えただけだったよ。
それだけやないで。やつが強いてやると音がなくなってしまうんと同時に。
同時に
At the same time, like, because he didn't finish the statement, like, what happens at the same time? Well, maybe that is the end. I guess you could have just put the time part at the very end. So in other words, yeah, it disappears. Okay, when the card goes, all sound disappears at the same time. Okay, so yeah, they just put the timing information of that statement at the end, I think. But let's continue.
それだけやないで。やつが強いてやると音がなくなってしまうんと同時に。
同時によう知らん。
Okay, so there was more, but he just didn't continue it. But that is actually a good question. A sentence like this, how would you know if there's more information? Oh, because of the toe particle it ended with, and then it did doji. So yeah. So with the card saying sound disappears, and with that, or you could also think of like and so the card says shh and sound disappears and at the same time, and then he ended the statement there. Okay, so that's how to think of it, and you can tell it's meant to be read that way by the use of toes in the sentence. And then
やつが強いてやると音がなくなってしまうんと同時に。
同時に？よう知らん。
okay, Yoshidan. So Shidan is short for Shidanai, so don't know essentially. And then what is this yo supposed to be? Hearing. Okay, no. There's a lot of yos in Japanese. I think this one's meant to be more like an introduction. Explain the grammar of this. This is Kansai Ben. Yo, this is a dialectal contraction of yoku, which functions as an adverb meaning well or very. In standard Japanese, yoku modifies verbs to indicate a degree of an action. Shidan, this is the Kansai dialect equivalent of standard Japanese negative shiranai, meaning do not know. The form shidan is dialect or negative stem, nuance and usage. While the standard Japanese yoku shiranai can mean I don't know well, in the context of Kansai dialect, yo shiran often carries a stronger, more casual negation similar to I have no idea or I'm clueless. Is used to express a lack of knowledge or certainty about a specific topic, such as mechanism or details, often implying that the speaker is not an expert on the subject. Okay, so I guess this so normally yoku shida nai would mean like I don't know well, meaning implying that you know a little bit. But I guess and the Yoshidan sort of took on the same thing that you see in English, where you underplay something to try to soften it. Like essentially, if you don't understand it something at all, you might say you don't know it well. So that's what I think's going on here in Kansai Ben. Yoshidan. let's see. Konyanya chiwa. See, oh, you're trying to do that thing that Kiro-chan does, okay. Let's see, Kiro-chan wa kansai ben. Oh, and greetings, Zoe. 1251. Kiro-chan wa kansai ben dakara ne. Oh yeah, Kiro-chan's kansai ben, yes. Which is why I was trying to exactly understand how yo was being used here, because it didn't make sense. And thus it basically said, oh, yo actually means yoku, and yoku can actually mean things slightly differently in this type of phrase in kansai ben, as I was explaining. Yoshiran.
よう知らん。それでも封印の獣なの？
Sore. Okay, sore demo fui no.
それでも封印の獣なの？
Kimonano.
よう知らん。それで
So from that, ceiling. She. Oh no, kimono. Okay, this is just translated wrong. This should be kimono. Let's see, beast, brute, animal. Oh, she's saying ceiling beast essentially, or guardian beast is one way you could think of it in English. Basically, the beast is supposed to be guarding the cards, making sure they're sealed. Fuin. Kimono. Okay, so from that, are you not the guardian beast? Or are you not the sealing beast? Rhetorical question, wondering why he was ignorant on what about silent. Or maybe not so much rhetorical, maybe trying to ask another question. But let's see. Is it still the sealing beast? Okay, sorry de. Okay, but still, and yet, nevertheless, even so. So, sore demo fui no kimono nano. Even so, you're still, are you not the sealing beast? Sore demo fui no kimono nano.
同時に。
同時に？よう知らん。それでも封印の獣なの？
やつはほとんど喋れへんからワイも性格つかめてないんや。
やつはほとんほとんどじゃ Oh, doshabe で変からdoshabeで変からwhy も something つかめてないんや。
なの？やつはほとんど喋れへんからワイも性格つかめてない。封印の獣なの？やつはほとん
Hotondo, almost nearly, mostly, practically, virtually, basically, just about all but. Then Shabere. Hardly, barely, scarcely, little. What is Shaberu? Shabere. Reru. Okay. Shabereru, okay. No, that doesn't help it. Explain the grammar of this sentence. Let's see. Seikaku, character, personality, disposition, nature. So, let's see. I character. Let's see. Yatsu is a casual, somewhat blunt pronoun meaning that person, guy, or one. Okay. Wa type of mark. Okay. Why the speaker? First person pronoun using kansai. Okay. Verb. Shabade hin. This is a dialect or negative potential form of shaberu, to talk. In standard Japanese, shabereru able to talk, can talk, and shaberenai cannot talk. So not able to talk. Let's see. Otondo means almost or hardly. So in other words, it's almost completely something, almost not something at all. Almost or hardly. So Hotondo shabe rehen means hardly talks, can hardly speak. Or hardly able to speak, I should say. Not. So this card is hardly able to speak, and then from that, it's sukametenai. What is sukametenai? Medu, to grasp, to understand, get a sense of. Sukametenai. Okay, so this is a contraction of sukamete in inai. Sukametenai. So this is continuous. So it's to grasp, so not able to, so not grasping it in an active sense. Have not been able to grasp, so It expresses a continuous state of not understanding. Yeah, concept dialog version of no des. Or nda. So, tsukamete nai, yeah, is the reason I don't understand, or simply I don't understand. So not able to grasp, okay. So, yatsu wa hotondo shabere okay. Yatsu wa hotondo shabere hen kara wai mo seikaku tsukamete nai ya. Was they translated? The card hardly ever talks, so I haven't really figured out what he's like, or in other words, or more literally, that's interesting. Why do they use the potential form here, though? So in other words, the card's hardly able to talk. So from that, I am not able to grasp their personality. So, yatsu wa hotondo shabere hen kara wai mo seikaku tsukamete nai ya. It's actually why it's a potential form of let's see, sha shaberu used here. The potential form shabere-hen, okay, is used to express inability, not unwillingness. Cannot speak, lacks ability or opportunity. Was why shaberu nai means does not speak, lack of action, possibly by choice. So in other words, since the card is hardly able to speak, I am not able to grasp their personality, essentially. Seikaku. Or maybe it's characteristics or natures. Maybe that might be because they were asked about powers, so they could be characteristics or natures. Yatsu wa hotondo shabere e Yatsu wa hotondo shabere hen kara wai mo. Let's see, that is seikaku. Okay, seikaku, and that seikaku comes from nature, sex, gender. Okay, and then capacity, character. Okay, status, rank. So in other words, details about how someone is, essentially, is the two kanjis. Seikaku. So yatsu wa hotondo 喋れへんからわいも性格つかめてないんや。
それでも封印の獣なの？
やつはほとんど喋れへんからわいも性格つかめてないんや。
さくらちゃん、さあ着替えましょう。
Sakura-chan, sa kigai masho. So let's see. Sakura-chan, well, what is kigai masho? With that expression, you already know what a sentence says just by that expression on her. Kigaeru, to change one's clothes. So it's made from to wear and to exchange. In other words, when you wear exchange, you're changing clothes. So kigai masho, and this is in this volutional form. It should be called kigai masho. Yes, or the suggestive form. Sakura-chan, sa kigai masho.
ってないんや。
さくらちゃん、さあ着替えましょう。やっぱり。いつもよりはおとなしい服だね。
いつもよりは、let's see, おとなしい服だね。That's おとな I don't know how yori is used when it's not the topic of a sentence, but let's see. Otonashi. Gentle, quiet, mild, meek, obedient, docile. Essentially made by big and then a person, aka adult. Otonashi. Quiet color pattern. So quiet color or quiet color pattern clothes, I guess. So always, if I remember correctly, something like A wa B yori E des is a way of saying that A is better than B. So less than always. So I think she's trying to say, isn't this a more quiet color palette than or a more reserved basically more reserved clothes than what she always has. No, but they're saying always is less than, so that would mean now would be more, wouldn't it? Let's see what the translator says. That's a more subdued outfit than usual. Explain the grammar of So yori wa is comparative structure. Yori, the particle meaning than, used to compare two things, okay? Well, let's see, and then otona. Oh, I just realized. That's right. Otona by itself is just the word for adult. I forgot about that. So otona shi, it's like adult-like essentially. And if you compare it to the kid, that would be quieter, I guess. But it literally means more adult-like, as a reference to things being more quiet and toned down. Otona shi. Let's see. If I was to say orange, orange wa han yori ii desu. Let's see. If I get rid of the yori, that's a pretty subdued outfit. And then with the yori, that's a more subdued outfit than usual. Does yori mean less than? So no, it's than or more than. So A yori B no ho. So that would be more than A. A is the standard being compared against the less side. And B is the item possessing the greater degree of the adjective. B is more adjective than A. So A yori B no ho ga, and then some adjective. It means A is the standard being compared against the less side. B is the item possessing the greater degree of the adjective. That sort of seems like less than. So A less than B. A is less in the direction of B. B, it has more of that adjective. Okay. So, いつもよりはおとなしい服だね。
いつもよりはおとなしい服だね。ええ、怪盗は目立ってはいけませんから。
yes, 回答はみ、
私服だね。回答は目立ってはいけません。
目立ってはいけませんから、so, I think 回答 is probably Kaito, mysterious thief, phantom thief. So suspicious combined with steal and rob makes phantom thief, mysterious thief. So yes, so as for thief, let's see, metate. Oh, so tate becomes date because of tens added to it. So medate, medasu, to be conspicuous, to stand out. Yeah, tatsu's literally a standing. So, me is eyes. So medatsu would be standing in the eyes, aka standing out. So, kaito wa medatte wa ikemasen kara. So yes, the mysterious thief should not be standing out, and then from that, so kaito kaito. Let's see which one is. Okay, the second one is steal. Okay, and the first one is suspicious. So, kaito wa medatte wa ikemasen kara.
いつもよりはおとなしい服だね。回答は目立ってはいけませんから。別に泥棒するわけじゃないんだけど。美術館に忍び込む。別に泥棒するわけじゃ
別に
ないんだけど。
泥
回答は目立ってはいけませんから。別に泥棒するわけじゃないんだけど。回答は目立ってはいけませんから。別に泥棒するわけ。
泥棒するわけじゃないんだけど。別にlet's see, not particularly, not especially, so separate. Okay, so betsu has a separate meaning, but I think the reason it's being translated as not particularly because it's often just used with nai. Let's see, separate branch off diverge forks, separately apart. Dobo, okay, thief, Dobo, thief, burglar. So mud mirror adhered to be attached. I wonder if it's from like burglars putting mud on their skin so they're harder to see in the dark. Then rod, stick, cane, pole, club. I guess the weapon a burglar has. So dodo bowl. Betsuni. Dorable suru. So doing separately, doing a to be doing a burglar reason. じゃないんだけど、let's see. Well, it's not like I'm going to rob anyone or anything. 別に Betsy by itself. Separately or separate to do to do a burglar, I guess. Separately doing a burglar. Let's see, meaning particularly, especially, not really, often used to negate or downplay the preceding assumption. Dorabo suru, to steal, to commit theft. Oh, it is a pseudo verb. Okay, I missed that. To do stealing. So wake janai. Okay, there is no reason or intention. So it's not like nda kedo, a conversational connector meaning but, though, okay. See, it's not like I'm stealing or anything. Not doing burglary. But how's Betsuni being used in here, though? The phrase is often used to downplay an action. Or defend oneself against a perceived accusation, even if the accusation was explicitly stated. It carries a defensive or explanatory tone. Breaking down. Okay, Betsuni mean particularly, especially, or not really. In negative constructions like this, it is often intensifies the negation, or softens the speaker's intent. Betsu ni tebenai, I'm not eating particularly, or I'm not really eating. Here betsu ni sets the tone. It's not particularly that I'm going. It's not particularly that I'm going to steal, implying the action is far from the speaker's intention. So separately, okay, so without Betsuni it is Dodobo. Okay, so without Betsuni it's Dodobo Suru, or stealing. So stealing wake reason or intention. And then Janai doesn't exist. So there is no stealing intention. Then Betsu means different by itself. Distinction, difference, discrimination, separate, different, another extra. So with difference, not stealing reason or intention does not exist. Okay, so it's saying how it doesn't exist. In other words, it's not only doesn't exist, but there's a huge distinction on why it doesn't exist. So with extreme difference, it doesn't exist. So you can think of the betsu need modifying the nai essentially. So, in other words, as you say in English, I really don't intend to steal anything. Okay. So betsu ni dorobo. Okay. Betsu ni dorobo surun wake janain da kedo.
おとなしい服だね。ええ、怪盗は目立ってはいけませんから。別に泥棒するわけじゃないんだけど。でも警戒厳重な美術館に忍び込むんですから。ませんわ。
なんやそれ。
別に泥棒するわけじゃないんだけど。
でも See, demo Keikai. Let's see, Keikai. Vigilance, caution, alertness, precaution, be on guard. Keikai. Kenju na. Strict, severe, rigorous, rigid. So in other words, they want a vigilance that is severe. In other words, they want them to be very vigilant. Keikai Kinju na Bijutsukan, so very vigilant museum. So, shinobi komu, to creep in, to steal in, to sneak in. Shinobi komu. Endure, bear, put up with, conceal. Shinobu. Shinobu, to conceal oneself, to hide oneself. Shinobu komu, so to creep in, to stand, or in other words, to hide oneself completely or very well. Shinobu komu. So strict, severe, and vigilance or alertness. So you need severe alertness museum. Shinobi komu. This is intransitive. So for sneaking into the very alert museum, I guess they're referring to how good the security is at the museum. Demo Keikai Kinju. Demo, but okay. But sneaking into museum with tight security. So in other words, it's another way of saying tight security. Alertness and severe. In other words, is tight museum as tight security. Keikai Genju. So demo, but you're sneaking into a tight security museum. Keikai Genju. Okay. Demo Keikai Genju na Bijutsukan ni Shinobi Komun desu kara. Shinobi komu, or to creep in, to steal in, to sneak in.
服だね。怪盗は目立ってはいけませんから。別に泥棒するわけじゃないんだけど。でも警戒厳重な美術館に忍び込むんですから、それなりの格好をしなくてはいけませんわ。
それなりに
美術館に忍び込むんですから、それなりの格好をしなくてはいけませんわ。
それなりの格好をしなくてはいけませんわ。格好, so that's form. しなくて, so that's しない or not doing, but it's in the connective sense. So not doing it, not able to. In other words, you have to do. Some type of form. So sort that, and then naughty. Or something, or for instance, as soon as, okay, right after, while still, with previous state still in fact. So with previous state still in fact, referring to the sorting, all that, so with all that still in fact, or right after, let's see. Shape, form, appearance, style, state, situation. So with previous state still in effect, situation, okay. You have to do, so with previous situation still in effect, you have to do it. Or sore nari no kako o shinakute wa ikemasen wa. See, but since we're sneaking into a museum with tight security, you have to dress the part, don't you? Where are they getting that from? Explain the grammar of to a strictly guarded museum. Let's see. Shinobi Komu desu kara, since we're sneaking in. So from sneaking in, Sorenari no koku wo, appropriate attire, clothing. Shape, figure, form, posture, appearance. Oh, that's right. Form, I guess, could be appearance. Find that in more detail. Sorenari no koku wo. The phrase sorenari no kako. Sorenari no kako wo translates to appropriate attire or suitable appearance for a given situation. Sorenari means appropriate, suitable, or adequate for the occasion. It implies dressing in a way that matches the seriousness or nature of the event, in this case, sneaking into a heavily guarded museum. Kako means appearance, outfit, or attire. Okay, therefore, therefore the whole thing, we must wear appropriate attire for the task at hand. This suggests this sneaker needs to dress in a way that helps them blend in and avoid suspicion, such as formal wear to look like a guest or staff. Okay. Or in this case, a traditional, well, basically clothes a thief would use, essentially, so you don't get noticed. How does Sorenari mean appropriate or suitable. It implies that it meets a certain standard or expectation given the situation. It often carries the nuance of as it should be or to be expected under the conditions. The phrase sorta nari no koko means to okay. Maybe I should look up nari individually. Nari, suitable option as soon as right after, while still previous state in effect. Explain nari in detail. Conjunctive particle as soon as in one level. That explains why I haven't seen it that much. It's an in one. Okay, this is the most common modern usage. It connects two clauses indicating that the second action happens immediately after the first, meaning as soon as X happens, Y happens. Attached directly to the dictionary form, plain non-past of a verb. Example, Kaete kuru nari gemu o hajimeta. As soon as he came home, he started playing games. It often implies that the second action is done quickly, spontaneously, or without delay. The second action is frequently something negative or undesirable from the speaker's perspective. Auxiliary verb, okay. Meaning just as or remain as, okay, meaning. Okay, this usage indicates a state that continues from the time an action was performed, meaning while in the state of having just done X or remain in X. Attached to the past connection, attached to the past tense form of a verb. It often carries the he fell asleep just as the okay. It often carries the implication that the action was left incomplete, or that the subject remained in an improper state. It frequently used with tanari to mean as soon as, though this is less common in the conjunctive particle usage. Okay. How is nari being used in this sentence? As part of the compound expression sore nari, that, and then nari, an archaic copular or adverbial suffix meaning as it is, or in that manner. An archaic copular or adverbial suffix meaning as it is, basically left in that state and then continuing, or in that manner. So here we have so when that matters form, or basically that matters close, in other words, suitable for something, so that's suitable meaning they were talking about. Suitable for what was just talked about. attire. You let's see. Shinakute wa ikimasen. So you have to do it in a suitable attire. So sore nari no kakko o shinakute wa ikimasen wa ne. Ikimasen wa.
でも警戒厳重な美術館に忍び込むんですから、それなりの格好をしなくてはいけませんわ。
なんやそれ。
Nanya sore? In other words, what is that?
忍び込むんですから、それなりの格好をしなくてはいけませんわ。
なんやそれ。
美術館の警備員のスケジュール表です。
なんやそれ。
美術館の
Vtuber no
警備員のスケ
KB no schedule
ジュール表です。
表です。Vtuber no KB. The little "in" on the end has to do with a member of an organization. So guard, security guard. So what is KB by itself though? Because the "in" says it's a person from something. KB, defense, guard, police, and security suits. Defense or guard person. KB-in. KB-in. So the museum's guard schedule. Bijutsukan no KB no schedule, and then Hyo. Surface face. Server, okay. Outside appearance, public. Oh, it's probably this hill. A table chart list. So the museum's security guard schedule list. So Bijutsukan no KB no schedule hyo desu.
飛び込むんですから、それなりの格好をしなくてはいけませんわ。
なんやそれ。
美術館の警備員のスケジュール表です。すごい、どうしたの？
Sugoi doshita no. So amazing. How did you do that? Essentially, it's that "what happened" meaning, but in this case, you would probably translate it more as "how did you do that?" In other words, how did you do in past tense, which can in English mean either how have you been, or like what happened, or how did you do that? Sugoi doshita no.
いけませんわ。
なんやそれ。
美術館の警備員のスケジュール表です。すごい、どうしたの？あの後もう一度美術館に行って拝借してきましたの。
Ano ato. Let's see, the later mo ichido one time 美術館に行って So one time going to the museum, something してきました. Doing something as you're coming to it.
どうしたの？あの後もう一度美術館に行って拝借してきましたの。
let's see. Shite kimashita. Oh, 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 shaku shite. Shaku shite, borrowing. Borrowing, let's see, borrowing and then coming. Borrow, coming. Let's see, you tell someone to bring something with something like motte kimashita. In other words, hold while coming. But this is borrow while coming. Hai shaku. So as for the later, let's see. Oh, moichi. Oh yeah, one more time. Once more moichi. So, ano ato moichido, bijutsukan ni ite. Hai shaku shite kimashita. So, going to the museum. I guess it's. She went to the museum to borrow something. Let's see what the translator says. Let's see. After that, I went back to the museum and borrowed it. Okay, so Otto, or the after, Moichido one more time. Okay, went to the museum, borrowed it, and then came. Find the grammar of. After that, I went to the art museum again and borrowed it. Okay. Ano Otto. That's after that specific. Ano is a demonstrative adjective, meaning that over there, referring to something distant from both the speaker and listening, often used for shared memories or previously mentioned events. Ato means after or aftermath, so together ano ato means after that, or aka later. It implies a prior context, such as a conversation or event already discussed. If two people talked about lost artwork, ano ato would mean after we discussed it. Moichido, once again, a common adverbial phrase meaning again or one more time, used to emphasize repetition of an action. Bijutsukan ni ite, went to the art museum, okay. Haishaku shite kimashita, borrowed humbly. So, haishaku is a humble expression meaning to borrow. It shows respect towards the leader. It literally means to receive humbly. often used in formal context instead of the neutral kariru. Kariru. To borrow, okay. So this is politer. Haishaku is a politer version of kariru. So, shite kimashita. Suru plus kuru in past tense. Tekuru indicates an action was done and the speaker has returned. Oh, okay, so that's the reason they're using kimashita. I went, borrowed it, and came back. So they're saying that after they borrowed it, they then came back to where they are now. In other words, came back to Sakura and all them. So, あの後、もう一度美術館に行って拝借し、してきましたの。拝借して、
すごい、どうしたの？あの後もう一度美術館に行って拝借してきましたの。これによると問題の絵のところに見回りが来るのは
これ、これによると、そう、夜、夜、これによる、something の絵のところに回りが来るの。問題、oh, that's 問題, question. Problem question. So, problem painting. Okay, yoru is, oh yeah, evening. So, this kind of evening, or in other words, this evening, これに夜. So with this kind of evening, problem painting's location, or 問題の絵のところに. So to the problem painting location, let's see. 見回り. Patrolling one's rounds, inspections. Let's see. 見回る. 見回る. To make one's rounds to patrol. And then mimawari is like talking about the patrol in the noun and the noun form itself. So basically, looping around and with looking is basically patrolling. So mimawari. And then so the patrols coming. So on with a night like this, the patrols coming to the problem painting. Okay, and then it continues from there. According to this, The patrol comes by the area where the painting in question is located. Kore ni yoru to, 問題の絵のところに見回りが来るのは、
あともう一度美術館に行って拝借してきましたの。これによると問題の絵のところに見回りが来るのはちょうど1時間後。見回りが来るのはちょうど
ちょうど1時間後。So 1 hour after or 1 hour later. So I think what was Chodo a little? So in a little. Oh no, Chodo. That's what it has to do with giving. That's right. So basically, that just gives us 1 hour or something like that. Chodo, adverb, exactly, precisely. Opportunely, just like, as if, Chodo. Oh, in precisely 1 hour. Okay. According to this, the patrol will arrive at the painting in question in exactly 1 hour. If I delete this, go, what does it become? Let's see, 1 hour from now. 1 hour. That's right. So this go gives a later content. So ETG-con is 1 hour, as in the time period. And then ETG-con go is 1 hour later. Okay. After. Okay. Chodo, precisely. 1. Okay, so Chodo, Ichijikan go.
と問題の絵のところに見回りが来るのはちょうど1時間後。あまり時間がありませんわね。
Amari Jikan. Amari Jikan ga arimasen wa ne. So, let's see. Jikan arimasen would means not having an hour. But amari means it's not completely that. We do get a little bit on the other. So we have a part of an hour, essentially. Amari jikan ga arimasen wa ne. Amari jikan ga arimasen wa ne. Remainder. So we don't have much time, do we? Oh, are they using Gcon to mean time here? Time or hour, okay. We have a small amount of time, essentially. Amari, remainder of time. Or not very much. So we don't have very much time. In other words, we have a little bit of time. Amari 時間がありませんわね。
の絵のところに見回りが来るのはちょうど1時間後。あまり時間がありませんわね。用心のために5分前にアラームをセットしておきましょう。用心のために5分見回りが来るのはちょうど1時間後。あまり時間がありませんわね。用心のために
用心のために、5分前に、ありま、or ありむ、oh, アラーム or alarm アラームをセットしておきましょう。用心 care, precaution, guarding, okay. That comes from use, utilize, okay, and then heart, mind, spirit. See that, let's see, words this is in is let's see, business, task, errand, purpose. Eugene, and then heart. So for the purpose of the heart, or care, precaution, guarding, okay. Purpose and heart makes precaution, and then tame for the purpose of a precaution. So yoji no tame ni, gobun mae. So 5 minutes previous, and alamu. Oh, okay. Seto. Set of things combining, setting up, preparing. Okay. Seto. And then, oh, this okimasho is from the verb oku, in other words, to put in place. This is like the type of word you see in English, or what you say like stand up and sit down. This is the up and down thing. In Japanese, it is expanded to more things than just directions. In this case, it's to put in place with a purpose. So for the purpose of a precaution, 5 minutes ahead of time, the alarm shall be set or put in place, essentially. It'll be put in place if the alarm's set. So, yoji no tame ni 5分前にアラームをセットしておきましょう。So I shall set the alarm 5 minutes ahead of time as a precaution.
あまり時間がありませんわね。用心のために5分前にアラームをセットしておきましょう。それではミッションスタートですわ。
それでは、so from that, mission start です。Start the mission.
用心のために5分前にアラームをセットしておきましょう。それではミッションスタートですわ。
You're silent. Mono Oto, or in other words, sound of unknown origin.
何してるのかな。
何してるのかな? Or what is he doing?
何してるのかな。怪しいですわ。
怪しいですわ。Or was it Ayashi? I think it was Ayashi. Ayashi desu wa. Ayashi. Suspicious, dubious. In other words, they're suspicious. Ayashi desu wa.
何してるのかな。怪しいですわ。ワイらも十分怪しいで。何してるのかな。怪しいですわ。ワイらも十分
Why Remo Jubi Ayashi. Let's see.
何してるのかな。怪しいですわ。ワイらも十分
Jubo Ayashi de. Waira. Yeah, you, I, me, us, we. So I think it means we in this. Waira. Oh yeah, that's right. Why the concept in for way of referring to yourself, and then ra in like kare versus karera is often used to make it plural. So in other words, this is concept in plural for the for referring to all of them. So wide emo, Jubun, 10 minutes, ISC. So you're trying to say like we've been suspicious for 10 minutes? We're pretty suspicious too. Oh, Jubun. Enough, sufficient, plenty, adequate, satisfactory, sufficiently, thoroughly, well, well perfectly. That's basically 10 and then that division kanji that's used in minutes. What does jibun mean? Satisfactory. Why does jibun mean sufficiently in sufficiently or enough because it functions as an adverb indicating the degree or quantity meets a necessary standard. The phrase provided which appears to contain let's see. Okay, what past touching okay. Let's see. I am suspicious too. Okay, meaning okay, jibun modifies the I active ISC, meaning suspicious or shady, to indicate a high degree. It implies that the speaker shares the quality of being suspicious to a satisfactory. Okay. Why mo is likely. No, it's not a typo. It's kansai bin. This is kansai bin. Okay. Waira is a variant of watashi, often used by men in a rough or humorous tone. Okay. Jibun retains meaning sufficiently acquired. Okay. De is a kansai sentence ending particle replacing Japanese yo. How did jibun come about to mean sufficiently? From its literal composition 10 and then part division together that represents 10 parts or 10 out of 10. 10 symbolizing completeness or fullness, essentially 100%. In traditional Japanese proportion systems, things were often divided into 10 parts. Thus, jibun meant tenths or a whole or complete amount. This idea of completeness naturally evolved into the meaning enough or sufficient. Expressions like a gobun for half satisfied or junibun more than enough support this proportional logic. Teiji influence Teiji with the kanji for fulfills the original word for sufficient. Jibun became widely accepted a Teiji phonetic or semantic substitute favored for its simplicity and numerical clarity. So jibun means sufficiently because it literally represents achieving the full measure, 10 out of 10 parts. Okay. So, okay, in this context, 10 parts is considered a full set. So when you have all 10 parts or when you have jibun, you're sufficient or you have plenty or adequate, essentially. So, in other words, we're sufficiently suspicious. We're also sufficiently suspicious because notice he says waira mo, given that also context. So waira mo 自分怪しいで。
何してるのかな。怪しいですわ。わいらも十分怪しいで。きっと美術品を盗みに来たんですわ。どうしよう、放っておけないよね。してるのかな。怪しいですわ。わいらも十分怪しいで。
きっと
美術品
美術品を
を盗みに来たんです。
盗み
わいらも十分怪しいで。きっと美術品を盗みに来た。
きっと美術品を盗みに来たんです。So that's a burglar. So okay, I know this kanji has like a representation of cargo and items, so maybe they're talking about the articles in a museum. So a burglar for the articles in the museum. So surely he came to steal something in the museum. Let's see if that guess is correct. Oh, that's right. That doesn't mean burglar. That means to steal, but like in the noun sense. Nusumi, stealing, theft. So Kito, bijutsu-hin, work of art, bijutsu-hin. Okay, so I guess an item. See, the first two kanjis has the meaning of bijutsu, art. So the first two kanjis has a meaning of art. Okay, so the second and that last kanji has a meaning of like a good of or an article of something. So an article of art, aka it's being translated in as yeah, basically an let's see, yeah, uh, article. Essentially, it's an article of art, and it's being translated as yeah, art as in, but okay, they must have come to steal the art, but not art as in like the general category of art, but art as in like an item of art. So, Kito, bijutsu-hin o nusumi, kitan desu wa. And this is the intention ni. Is come with the to do something to the purpose of doing something. So, Kito, Bijutsukan hi no Nusumi ni kitan desu wa? And that's from Nusumu, to steal. So, surely he came to steal the art.
何してるのかな。怪しいですわ。ワイらも十分怪しいで。きっと美術品を盗みに来たんですわ。きっと美術品怪しいですわ。ワイらも十分怪しいで。きっと
質問がありますか? Are there any questions? If there's no questions, we're gonna raid, so please stick around for that. Okay, so we're gonna raid Teach to Learn. So the second person we're gonna raid is we're gonna raid Candy Queen Sunny, who's learning Japanese. And let's see, the last person we're gonna raid is Okay, so we're gonna raid Bobby Puff Gaming. Minasan, okiyotsukete, mata ashita. Goodbye everyone, see you tomorrow.